The day my husband's first love became a widower, he filed for divorce from me. With a head full of silver hair, he turned around and married his first love with the support of his daughter. The couplets at the wedding became a hot search online. 40 years of separation, 100 years of sincere expectations. Everyone was moved by their love. That's when I showed up at the wedding reception. My husband staggered towards me, but his hand tightly held the hand of his first love. Olivia, we are all decent people. Let's part ways amicably. I smiled. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm here to give you a big gift. Not long ago my husband Callum suddenly asked me for a divorce. I was very surprised at the time. How could a 70-year-old man have such thoughts? Callum bluntly said, Arya's husband died of illness. She must need me now. I want to spend the rest of my life with her. My first reaction was shock and sadness, but after a moment's thought I felt that I must have done something wrong. The old man is having a tantrum again. Otherwise, how could he suddenly have such a shocking idea? In the end, no matter what I said or how I made a fuss, he was determined to get a divorce. It all happened so suddenly and so fast. The husband, who was still at home wearing glasses reading the newspaper and waiting for me to bring the meal to the table half a month ago, is now someone else's husband. I calmly glanced at the scene and saw that there were a lot of people there. Most of them are Callum's disciples and Arya-chan's followers. There was another person holding a large bouquet of flowers ready to present to the newlyweds. That was my daughter Nova. When she saw me coming, she quickly handed the flowers to the people around her. He squeezed through the crowd and came to the three of us. He said to me with a hint of reproach, "What are you doing here? Today is a good day for Dad. If you dare to make trouble here, don't blame me for not recognizing you. It's been almost 40 years since the two of them were separated because of you. Someone like you has had a father for 40 years. Isn't that enough? Someone like me." I subconsciously asked myself, what kind of person am I? Nova looked at me with disdain. Dad is a scholar, an expert, with students all over the country, and you are just an illiterate rural woman. Arya-chan pulled Nova's hand. Don't talk to Olivia like that. A rural woman raised you and took care of your father for so many years. It's not easy for her either. Nova softened his tone when he heard Chan Arya say this. Okay, I'll listen to you. Then he turned around, still a little impatient but much more restrained. She said to me, don't stay here. This is Dad and Aunt Chan's wedding. It's not appropriate for you to be here. She was in a hurry to send me away. I didn't even have a chance to say anything before I was pushed out of the hotel. As if she was afraid that I would turn back halfway, she quickly mentioned her little grandson Dong Dong. Dong Dong will be out of school at noon today, and there's no one at home, so why don't you just pick him up and take him to the playground to play for a while? Thinking of my lovely grandson, I could only temporarily suppress the anger in my heart. He turned around and took a deep breath, decided to pick up Dong Dong first. At this moment, a group of young people were running towards the hotel in a hurry. He accidentally knocked me down when passing by. They helped me up apologetically. Sorry, Grandma, we are in a hurry to attend the wedding. His companions shouted at him to hurry up and waved at him excitedly. Hurry up. Teacher Meng and Teacher Chan are already on stage. It's a big wedding. Not everyone is qualified to attend. Why are you talking so much to an old country lady? Look at their backs. I laughed at myself again. It seems that in everyone's eyes Callum and I are not a good match. But it should have been me who had the opportunity to go to school. My father made me drop out of school because he wanted to use all his money to pay for the tuition of the son of his dead comrade. That night I heard my mother's suppressed crying. If I don't let her go to school, she will just be a rural woman like me for the rest of her life. Dad just smoked silently, but I wasn't unhappy about it. I'm actually happy for Callum. I went to tell him excitedly, you can go to school now. When you get home from school, can you teach me how to read and write? Callum went to school for the first time. He kept looking back. I always feel sorry for myself. On the contrary, I am the one who despises his womanizing behavior. I worked harder to help my parents at home. I hope I can make more money by fall so I can buy winter clothes for Callum. At that time, little Callum held my hand and made a promise. Olivia, don't worry. When I get into college, I will definitely take you to the city to live a good life. But now he despises me because I have no education and I have nothing in common with him. He mentioned it more than once. Olivia, when you have nothing to do, read a book and learn something. Otherwise, I will be embarrassed to tell my students that my wife is illiterate. But I am already so old and I have a lot of chores to take care of at home, so how can I have the time to read? So when he heard my refusal, he would often impatiently throw down the newspaper and walk out. While walking, he kept repeating Chan Arya's name. I'm going to Arya's house to have a cup of tea and play a game of chess with her husband, Gao. Now I understand that he didn't come here for tea and chess, but to see the perfect wife in his mind. Thinking of this, I stopped, looked up, and found myself at the entrance of the kindergarten. The other children have already been picked up. Dong Dong was staying in the security room. The childcare teacher breathed a sigh of relief when she saw me. I can't get in touch with his mother no matter what. I'm so worried. I quickly took Dong Dong's hand and apologized. After leaving, I took Dong Dong to the bus stop. Grandma, where are we going? Let's go to the playground. Okay. Dong Dong's little mouth pouted immediately. I don't want to go. I want to attend my grandpa's wedding. I was very surprised. I didn't expect that even Dong Dong knew that they were getting married today. But how do they tell the children? Does it mean that I am 70 years old but still can't let go of my first love and decided to go back and rekindle the relationship? My heart is in a mess. Dong Dong held my hand and shook it again and again. Grandma, come on. I heard the new grandma is Grandma Chun. Many of my classmates like her. From now on I can tell everyone that my grandmother is a writer. That way, people won't laugh at me anymore. It turns out that even children mind the fact that I am illiterate. Who caused my current situation? I squatted down and took Dong Dong's school bag. Smiled gently. Come on. Grandma will take you to your grandpa's wedding. On the way, Dong Dong kept talking. Grandma, will you not be able to live with us from now on? A few days ago I heard Mom and Grandpa talking about sending you back to the countryside. My heart suddenly began to ache, but he still managed to smile. Does Dong Dong want Grandma to go to the countryside? His little face was full of confusion. If Grandma dies, I won't be able to eat the glutinous rice balls she made. But if others knew that my new grandmother is Grandma Chan, they would definitely envy me. The little guy was talking about his inner struggle when weighing the pros and cons, which made me both angry and amused. But in my opinion, it is better for Dong Dong to say it directly than that hypocritical father and daughter. One of them wants to pursue his own love, and the other wants to find a stepmother to improve his social status. But he always puts the responsibility on me. It's all your fault. If you had read more books, I wouldn't have ended up like this with you. These words Callum said before he left home for the last time have been echoing in my ears. Nova agreed with her father's point of view. Mom, don't be upset. Dad and Aunt Chan are a perfect match. Besides, you are a countrywoman who has lived a good life in the city for so many years. You should be content. Now even the kids know they are going to kick me out. I shouted in my heart, Dad, if you knew that you spent so much money to raise an ungrateful person, would you regret it? Callum proposed to me when he graduated from college. I am very nervous. You are a college student and you are going to stay in the city to work. I am a rural woman. How can I be worthy of you? Don't think you should marry me just because you've received favors from my family. My parents and I are not that kind of people. Callum was sincere. It's not for the sake of repaying a favor. I just think you're suitable for living together. A very simple confession. The night before my wedding, my father sat outside my door all night. The next day when I opened the door, I saw cigarette butts all over the floor at my father's feet. Don't be afraid, Olivia. Just marry me. If Callum dares to bully you in the future, Daddy will take care of it for you. It's a pity that my father died a long time ago. There will be no one to make the decision for me. It is probably because of this that they are so unscrupulous. They are the two closest people to me in this world. When we arrived at the hotel, the banquet had not yet ended. Callum and Arya-chan are toasting at each table. As Dong Dong entered the hall, he rushed over happily. Grandpa, you look so handsome today. After the child's childish voice finished speaking, there was a burst of laughter in the hall. Dong Dong is getting cuter and cuter. Haha, even Dong Dong knows that today is a good day. But no one knows that the Zhongshan suit he was wearing was made by me. Now he took it out of the closet and put it on, becoming someone else's husband. Arya-chan smiled softly at me. Olivia, sit down and have something to eat with us. Callum told me that you are going back to the countryside. It won't take too long. Before I opened my mouth, people nearby started talking in low voices. Why is it her again? Didn't Xiaochun chase her away just now? How could a rural woman marry a husband like Professor Meng without being a little shameless? Yet, once you fall into the quagmire, how can you be willing to accept it? But she is not worthy of Professor Meng. You can't use moral blackmail on others just because their fathers were comrades in arms. Nova pushed me out with an ugly look on his face. What are you doing here? Take Dong Dong home. I was once very confused about why my grandson's nickname was Dong Dong, until one year I shamelessly accompanied Callum to visit Arya Chen's house to pay New Year's greetings. I heard her husband, Mr. Gao, calling her Dong Dong, but I wasn't sure then. Until now I can finally be sure. Callum is expressing his nostalgia for this relationship in a very special way. As my mood fluctuated, I recalled many past events. For example, we have been married for many years, but he never allows me to go to his workplace. Even if it's delivering food, clothes, or materials, none of them work. When he had no choice, he would let me put it in the guard room. Just say she is your aunt at home. For example, I once asked him to teach me how to write. He was extremely impatient. You don't even know how to write. Don't waste your time. Instead of fooling around like this, why don't you go and cook? We're all hungry. In his opinion, I was not worthy of studying. Maybe because I studied he couldn't find any reason to dislike me. How could I ask for a divorce and say I wanted to marry my first love? Mom, what are you daydreaming about? There are so many people watching us. Nova's words woke me up from my memories. Let's go now. I'll give you $50 and you can take a taxi back. Don't make a scene here. Wait until I'm done and come home to have dinner with you. She said she was going to transfer money to me. For so many years I have been a housewife. No income at all. However, they carefully budgeted my living expenses, fearing that I would save some money for myself. I wish I could check every account myself. Even when I am sick I have to apply to them before I can see a doctor. Now in order to urge me to leave, she was busy transferring money to me. That's ridiculous. I reached out to cover her phone screen and looked at her coldly. She looked up at me in surprise. Too little. How about I give you 100, 300, 500? I slapped her in the face. Who are you talking to? You're throwing money at your own mother just to stop me from influencing your father to find you a stepmother. You are just like your father. Both are ungrateful. The guests craned their necks to watch the fun. Nova took a long time to recover. Callum and Arya were coaxing the guests to eat and drink while coming over to inquire about the situation. Olivia, I've already said you're a respectable person, and it's not respectable to make a scene here. Your family has been so kind to me. Without your father, I would not have been able to study and would have starved to death, but I haven't treated you unfairly over the years. Arya is a person who is emotionally clean, and she has accepted our past. As a rural woman, what is there that you cannot accept? Callum was half truthful. I was not treated unfairly because at least I did not starve to death over the past few decades, but the funds he earned from research in recent years were basically given to Arya's family. Especially after giving birth to my daughter, I went for a sterilization to support the country's family planning policy. After that we not only had separate beds but also separate rooms. He said he needed a quiet environment to do his academic work. I don't want to disturb my daughter and his rest. Even when my daughter is not at home occasionally he refuses to have sex with me. Now I understand that he was keeping his virginity for Arya-chan. When you said you didn't treat me unfairly, do you mean that I have been a widow for most of my life? As soon as I said this everyone present started talking. No way, this is too tragic. Didn't you say that Professor Meng was forced? You can understand that, right? No matter how forced you were, you still have to take responsibility after you've married her. What's the point of cold violence? Callum was so angry that his glasses almost fell off. It's disgraceful. It's so disgraceful. How can you say such things in front of so many people? Respectable. How could you not be respectable when you were secretly having an affair with Lao Gao behind my back for so many years? As soon as I said this the whole audience was excited. Callum's outstretched finger is so close to poking me in the face. You illiterate. Do you have any sense of shame? What are you saying in public? I am illiterate, but I also know morality, propriety, righteousness and shame. You are the ones who truly have no sense of shame. Callum, who was jumping up and down anxiously in front of me, I couldn't help but laugh. One night decades ago Dad brought home a little boy. It is said that he is the child of a comrade in arms. His comrades saved his life. He couldn't just ignore the child. Callum has lived in our house ever since. My mother is a rural woman and she doesn't know anything. Just listen to Dad. People in the village often gossip about others. Maybe that's the offspring of your old Wu who is out there, and you're helping him raise a bastard. My mother stood at the door with her hands on her hips and scolded me. Who the hell is gossiping? My man is definitely not the kind of person you say he is. Go back and take care of your own men. You guys should be careful about your men messing around outside. The mother was fierce but immediately turned around and smiled gently at Callum. Don't be afraid, shall ya? No one dares to bully you when your aunt is here. Callum with my mother. I will beat anyone who says Callum. Even the big guys in the village were frightened by my fearlessness. Callum again. I'll stone you to death. At that time I could never have imagined that we would end up like this many years later. It turns out that I have been misjudging people all these years. I actually wasted decades of my life on a hypocrite. This time, Callum said coldly, I have already told you that I will spend the rest of my life with Arya. It is useless for you to make a fuss. You might as well save some self-respect. I spat and said, you guys live your life. I didn't say no, but our divorce papers haven't been completed yet, and you're so impatient to hold a wedding banquet. Who has no shame and no self-respect? Divorce is fine, but was your divorce agreement written by a human? I have devoted all my energy to this family for so many years, and you want me to leave with nothing? Are you bullying me because I have no education and cannot read? Arya snorted, her face full of contempt. Olivia, I'm not asking you to leave the house with nothing. It's just that our family has been spending a lot of money over the years and we don't have much money. But don't worry, I will still give you living expenses when you return to the countryside in the future. I'll also help you renovate your old house in the countryside. Even the guests began to despise me. Just tell me what she came for. Turns out she came for money. Yes, all the women in the countryside are like this. As long as you have money, even if you want to sleep with them, it's okay. I sneered. Many of the people who came here to attend the wedding were educated people, but he spoke so crudely. Not even as good as us rural people. They are all the same, a bunch of hypocrites. I chuckled. How interesting. You are really good at making big promises. If you want to do this, well, see you in court. Although I am 70 years old this year, I can see so many things clearly before I die, which means I have lived a meaningful life. I didn't bother with them anymore. I turned around and went home packing my things before they finished. Only then did I realize how little I had. The suitcase was not even full. The suitcase was the dowry my mother gave me when I got married. There is also a she character my mother wrote for me on it. My mother is illiterate like me, but she is luckier than me because she met my father. As soon as I finished packing, I dragged my box to the door. I ran into their family heat-in. Nova saw me. He spoke first. You can stay for a few more days. Our family is planning to go on a short trip by car. My mom, Aunt Chen's new book launch is being held in the next city, and we're planning to go and join in the fun. Are you starting to call me mom now? I smiled faintly and shook my head. Have a nice trip. I didn't make any noise, but they became a little uneasy. Olivia, you are old enough now. I believe you are a wise person. Stop making trouble and don't do anything stupid. Nova, who has always had a bad relationship with me, was a little worried. I'll take you wherever you want to go. She never drives me. Even when I asked her if it was convenient for her to take me to buy some groceries, she would say it was not convenient. She was afraid that others would know that although her father was a well-known scholar, her mother was illiterate. But today she offered to send me off. I don't know if it's because I feel guilty. No, cultivate your relationship with your mother. Otherwise, how can you use her fame to improve your status? I said with a hint of sarcasm. Left that home without any regrets. That night I saw Nova posted on WeChat Moments. The circle of friends is a family photo. Nova's face was pressed tightly against Arya-chan. If Arya-chan had a biological daughter, it would be no different. However, Arya-chan suffered a serious illness when she was young, and has never been able to conceive since then. Fortunately, Lao Gao loves her dearly, and not only does he not despise her, but he feels even more sorry for her. It is precisely because of this that I feel sorry for Lao Gao. If Chun Arya had never given Callum hope, Callum would not have proposed to Gao right after his death. These two people may have had a secret affair before. I contacted a lawyer to redraft my divorce agreement. She was furious when she heard what had happened to me. Auntie, in your situation, we must expose him as the party at fault in the marriage. Otherwise, he'll say that he's been supporting you for so many years, and you'll be at a disadvantage when the property is divided. So I recorded a short video with her help. In the video I tell the story of Callum and I over the years. I don't want him to come back. I just want the money. My lawyer asked me to add this sentence. At first I was worried that I would be scolded by netizens. After all, at the wedding banquet that day many guests called me shameless. However, after the video was released I was surprised by what netizens said. I know. It was the wedding of the century a while ago. I didn't expect to get to see the original wife's grandmother. Grandma, you did a good job. You should have stood up and taken the initiative to protect your rights. You have given so much for him. Why do you get nothing in the end? Yes, it's not about money. She gave you the opportunity to go to school. And she married you and stayed at home for decades. She basically devoted the most important time of her life to marriage and family. How can you ask her to go back to the countryside without paying a penny? Meng and Chen are all black all their lives. I know Chen. She's a mistress. It's a pity that her husband has been so infatuated with her all his life. I don't know how much she has been having fun outside. Immediately Callum called. Olivia, you just want money. I'll give it to you. All of it. So don't encourage netizens to attack Arya. Do you know that her eyes are swollen from crying? Dong Dong's childish voice could be heard from the other end. Granny is bad. Grandma only wants money. Grandma is so mean. If it were in the past I would definitely feel embarrassed. I feel like I've done something bad, but now I just smile calmly. I asked my lawyer to draft a new divorce agreement. Please sign it now. We are divorced, and I will not mention this matter again. He said yes repeatedly. Just when I thought the matter was going to be resolved smoothly, Nova suddenly posted a message on the social platform. My mother is a rural woman. She has a strong personality for many years. My father and I have lived in an extremely repressive living environment. She hinted that my father cheated first. I want to ask, how dare my father cheat? After turning 70, my father felt that his life had come to an end, but he still saw no hope, so he couldn't stand it anymore and filed for divorce. It just so happened that Auntie Chun was a widower, and this pair of young lovers wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. What's wrong with that? Nova's update was published. It attracted the approval of many men who are in a disadvantaged position in the family. I don't mind if my wife is from the countryside or not, but I'm really afraid of her being too strong. When a person works outside for so long, all he wants to do when he gets home is to relax. If his partner is too strong, then life will be very difficult. Teacher Arya-chan looks like a scholar. She is indeed a better match for Professor Meng. So a bunch of people started attacking me again, saying that I was old and there were too many people doing evil. No one cares whether it is true or not. Nova also sent me a message to provoke me. I've already told you, you should stop struggling at your age. Wouldn't it be better for you to go back to your hometown and live your life? Callum had agreed to a redistribution of the property, but then he started avoiding me again. My lawyer was unable to contact Callum himself. The lawyer said angrily, Auntie, your daughter is really a piece of shit. Doesn't she know your situation at all? You've devoted your whole life to your family, and in the end they treat you like this. Don't worry, leave this to me. I will definitely win this case. When all public opinion is on their side, Arya-chan even secretly showed her affection at a fan meeting, saying that a woman is a rose that is loved until death. If it is not loved, it must be because the rose is not pleasing. Isn't this talking about me? I smiled coldly when everyone thought I was bound to lose this lawsuit. I found someone to testify for me. This person is Lao Gao's nephew. Because Lao Gao loved Chun Arya so much, he never had any biological children, but he likes children in his heart. He gave all his love to his nephew. Arya-chun was not around at all when he died. She rushed back from another place. It was Lao Gao's nephew Gao Yuan who attended his funeral. I am Gao Yuan, the nominal nephew of Ms. Chun Arya. My uncle is Mr. Gao Guofu, who is Chun Arya's husband. Now I should call him ex-husband, because she got married right after my uncle was buried. This video is not explosive. What is more explosive is that Gao Yuan is a photography enthusiast. Teacher Gao once spent some money to buy him the first camera in his life. Gao Yuan used this camera to take pictures of Arya-chan's trysts with different men. After I found out about Ms. Chen's true face, I was in pain. I didn't know whether to tell my uncle or not. My uncle died not long after. I kept thinking that this might have been due to Ms. Chen. She used PUA and cold violence against my uncle for many years, which caused my uncle to become mentally depressed a few years ago. And she has no qualms about dating multiple men. Although the photo is not high definition, it was taken at a close enough distance that it is clear that it is Arya-chan herself. This photo was taken about 20 years ago. Among those men was Callum. Even I didn't expect that they would start having an affair so early. I said thank you to Gao Yuan many times. He was silent for a long time on the other end of the phone. "Aunt, you and my uncle are both good people. I am willing to stand up for you. I hope you won't be like my uncle and start your own life sooner. Although some people are old, their behavior is still bad and despicable." After hanging up the call with Gao Yuan, I saw the message from Nova. "You actually applied to freeze all the family's assets. How can we live?" Callum also called. "We are all respectable people. Why are you really going to sue me? Do you want to save my reputation?" After Gao Yuan's video was released, public opinion online became even more heated. There are all kinds of opinions. My lawyer issued a statement for me. Wu has filed a lawsuit in court to divorce Callum. The only dispute is the division of property. My client Wu has devoted her entire life to her family. In her old age, she was betrayed in her marriage and was kicked out of the house. This is really unreasonable. As a lawyer, I will definitely defend the legal rights of my client, and will also hold those who spread rumors and slander my client accountable. After Gao Yuan spoke out, many people who knew the situation began to speak out one after another. Some of them are Arya Chan's neighbors. Some were Callum's colleagues as well. What was particularly surprising was that there was a little girl. I used to be a loyal follower of Mr. Chen, but after I learned some things, I no longer believed in these so-called famous writers. Just one sentence makes people think a lot. Arya Chan's new book was quickly removed from the shelves, and several publishing houses that frequently collaborated with her also issued statements condemning this morally corrupt person. Literature is like character. We value both academic articles and moral character. Both are indispensable. Arya Chan and Callum came to see me together. I don't even know how they knew I lived here. After opening the door, Arya immediately knelt on the ground. "Olivia, I'm old and I really can't stand this kind of torture. Can you please spare us?" Callum blushed and said nothing. After a long while, he stammered, "Let Arya go. I can still come back and live a good life with you." I laughed and said, "You think too highly of yourself. Do you think I did this just to force you to come back? As early as the day you filed for divorce, I no longer considered you my husband. I just wanted to fight for some rights for myself. After all, I have contributed so much to this family. Not only me, but also my father and mother have paid for you." Callum's face turned even redder. Arya Chan was still sobbing, but I kicked her lightly. She fell to the side and looked up at me in surprise. After all, although they spread rumors outside that I had a strong personality, the fact is that I had never been violent with any of them. On the contrary, no matter how they treat me, I always turn around and forget about it. "Arya Chan, you are already so old. Why are you still pretending to be a green tea girl like the young ones?" I ruthlessly exposed her little thoughts. She has come to this point and there is no other way out except to continue living with Callum. I'm afraid that in the future there won't even be anyone to see her off to the end. But Callum and Nova already had other ideas. I know them too well. A sophisticated egoist. "Sure enough," Callum said. "Olivia, I really know I was wrong. We are already so old. Let's not make a fuss anymore." Okay. Even Nova sent a WeChat message at this time. "Mom, Dad and Teacher Chun came to you to apologize. Did you meet them?" I sent a voice message back directly. "Your parents are here, and your mom is crying." Nova smiled apologetically. "What do you mean, my mom? My mom's tone is very nice. I can't tell she's crying." I smiled coldly. "You two are really shameless." After saying that, I completely blocked Nova on WeChat. All the kindness I have shown her in raising her over the years has come to an end here. Callum and Arya left. The lawyer told me that Callum agreed to sign the divorce agreement. This was within my expectations. He is a man who values reputation and has always been so, and he is not willing to go to court for a divorce in his 70s. What's more, the other person is someone who once did me a favor. He can't afford to lose this person. The house belonged to him, and in addition to the cash in the house, he compensated me with another 800,000 yuan. Although the amount of money was not much, I knew it was all he could come up with. I used the money to buy a piece of land in the countryside and built a small estate. I hired 2 people to grow some vegetables and raise some chickens, ducks and geese. During holidays, many people come here to eat. Because of the good environment and pollution-free food, the manor gradually became famous and more people came. On the Mid-Autumn Festival, I happened to go to the manor to check the accounts. Being recognized, the little girl asked me quietly, "Grandma, you are that, right?" She looked mysterious and curious. It took me a few seconds to react, and I smiled and nodded. The girl is Callum's disciple, and was once a fan of Arya Chan. She told me that after the incident was exposed she felt extremely confused for a while, and didn't know which of the so-called seniors she could trust. But after she heard about me from her friends she found it very inspiring. We all think you are a courageous person for starting a new life at the age of 70. Callum's later experience from the little girl. Because the incident had a huge impact and strong social response, Callum, who was originally rehired by the school, was directly terminated. Callum on the school wall was also removed. All of Arya Chun's books have been removed from shelves. As for Nova, her original plan was to use Arya Chun's fame to improve her social status, so that she could smoothly change to a new job. After this incident it seemed that there was no hope. Nova's attitude towards Arya Chun was particularly bad, even worse than he treated me before. Not long after that day I received a call from the hospital. It was said that Nova had been in a car accident and couldn't afford the huge medical bills, so the medical staff asked her if there were any other family members. She gave me the number. I went to the hospital. Nova, who used to be so arrogant, was now lying on the hospital bed with a dejected look on his face. When she saw me, tears started streaming down her face. Mom, Dong Dong's father divorced me as soon as he found out about my condition. In the past I loved my children the most. He will definitely go and argue with his son-in-law in a panic. Then they would sell everything they had to help Nova pay for the medical expenses. But now I just stood there looking at my own daughter falling from my body. A doctor just came in. When the doctor saw me he was stunned. The bill in hand is very long. Bet 72. If you can't pay the medical bills, we will stop giving you medication. Our department can no longer afford it. Nova became even more anxious. Mom, my dad went to live with that Chun in her hometown, and even blocked my phone number. If you don't help me, I will be paralyzed. I'm still so young. I can't be paralyzed. I couldn't read the medical records and I didn't look at the bill. I just took a step back and didn't take the prescription from the doctor. At the beginning, I also needed your help, even if it was just moral support. But you let me down time and time again. My beloved daughter ended up being the one who hurt me the most. I turned to the doctor and said, I'm not her family member. I just came to see her. After saying that I ignored Nova's screams from behind, left the hospital. Later I heard that Nova was really paralyzed and would have to use a wheelchair for the rest of his life. I was very surprised at the time. How could a 70-year-old man have such thoughts? Callum called me once before he died. Since it was a new number I answered it. Olivia, I want to ask, will you never forgive me in this life? I sighed. No, because if we are still talking about forgiveness or not, it means we still have a relationship, but I have nothing to do with you anymore. Then I hung up the phone. After his death, Arya Chan immediately found another husband who was a big shot in the publishing industry. All I can say is that people are so different. Soon spring arrived and some wildflowers began to grow on the estate. They grow in harsh environments but they bloom brilliantly. Just like my life. Just like my life. Just like my life. Just like my life.